welcome to my small kitchen. I am an Indonesian who lives in California, and today I'm feeling a little bit hungry for some Indonesian food, feeling a little bit homesick for the food, so I'm gonna use this instant seasoning to cook the dish that is called semur. And with this dish, this time I'm gonna you can make it with beef, but today I'm gonna make it with chicken, with some boiled eggs and some tofu. So continue watching so that I can show you how the process to make semur and also how it looks like when it's finished. So now I'm going to boil my eggs. Meanwhile, I will also be chopping the rest of the ingredients. This way we are saving some time, and by the time the eggs are finished cooking, I'm also finished chopping all the other ingredients. Alright, so as I told you, I was cooking semur with chicken and eggs and tofu. So I like to eat with some vegetables, and here at home it just happened I have two kind of mushroom, the enoki mushroom and the king oyster mushroom here. So what I do, I'm just gonna simply steam this. You might think this is boring, but I don't mind it. The semur will have a lot of flavors, and I just need some vegetables with it. So I'm going to cut my boneless and skinless chicken breast that I got from the supermarket on sale for $1.99. It was very economical. Traditionally, people would use chicken with the bone still intact. The reason is that when you cook chicken bone in, the bone's gonna give additional flavor to the meat, and also the bones keep the meat moist. But for simplicity and for cost economical purposes, I just use the boneless skinless chicken breast. Alright, so I finished cutting all my chicken that I'm gonna use. Look at that. And always keep in mind, for safety, for health and hygiene, after you cut meat using your cutting board and your knives, you want to wash this with soap, and you don't want to use this same board to cut like vegetables or non-meat item, because it's prone to contracting salmonella. So that's the tips for me. Okay, so using I use a 5 or 6 quarts of pot here. I'm gonna fry my instant seasoning, so it just looks like a paste in the inside. It looks very dark. Traditionally, people just make the spices, not using the instant package. But I'm in California. They don't really have all the ingredients that I need to cook Indonesian food. So this is like the simple way. After you can smell the fragrance, then I just dump the chicken in and mix it around. I personally like to brown my meat, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna brown this chicken before I add the water and the rest of the ingredients. Alright, as you can see, my chicken is fully brown now. Brown meaning as you can see, the color, it's already changed, kind of started to get cooked. So, but the middle is still actually raw, so because when you press it, it's still kind of soft. So next, I'm gonna add my tofu. I use deep fried tofu that I got from Asian market, so I don't need to fry them by myself. But if let's say you can't find them, then you can just use a firm tofu and fry it, or even you don't need to fry it, it's fine. And tofu is actually already cooked, so it doesn't take long, but the longer you leave it in here, it's gonna soak all the seasoning and the spices, so it tastes better. Alright, so I mix the tofu around a little bit so it's covered in sauce, and next we're gonna pour the water. Go. Okay, so we already poured the water in, mix it around a little bit. So we're just waiting for the water to boil, and after the water started boiling, then we're gonna cover the dish and let it continue simmer to cook the chicken. Okay, now the water already started boiling, so I'm gonna dunk my hard-boiled eggs. And then we're gonna cover this and again let it continue simmering. Okay, it looks good now. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna season it. Gonna add salt and kecap manis. This is Indonesian sweet soy sauce. And I use this brand, Bango Kecap Manis. Alright, so I finished cooking and I'm ready to try what I cooked today, which is semur ayam. So this is the result. Okay, so there's the eggs, there's the tofu and a piece of chicken there in the front. So this dish is actually very similar to Filipino adobo without the vinegar, because Indonesians, we don't really cook with a lot of vinegar. There are some dishes with vinegar, but typically not really in a stew. So it's, you know, it's the same kind of like brownish color. You know, you could do it with chicken or beef. Majority of Indonesians are Muslims, so they don't really eat pork. So and here, this is what I have here is a plate of rice, of course. We always eat everything with rice. I have a sambal or like a chili paste. And then these are the vegetables that I steam, which is the king oyster mushroom, the enoki mushroom, and I had some green beans. Alright, so let's try how this tastes like. Okay, so I'm gonna just get a little bit of the broth, pour it to my rice, and then I'm gonna grab a piece of the chicken. Okay. And I personally like with a lot of the soup or the sauce. Yum, yum. Let's try it. Very good. So what I usually do, even though I use the instant seasoning package, I usually would add additional ingredients to make the spices stronger. So I usually would add like a little bit more of like shallots or red onion and Indonesian bay leaves. Keep in mind that Indonesian bay leaves and typical American bay leaves, they smell different. So I would put a link under the description so that you can see what Indonesian bay leaves are. They're just like dry leaves, but then like when you boil it with the sauce, it has a very distinct aroma and it just makes the flavor a lot better and a lot stronger. So I didn't have that today at home, so unfortunately, you know, mine is just kind of like it tastes good, but you know, I usually like a stronger aroma. So I'm gonna take a piece of the sambal, and this is how typically Indonesian eat. Put it on your rice, and then you got a little piece of your chicken, and I got a little piece of the tofu. So we got everything, like almost everything in this one bite. Okay, so I got the sambal, the rice, chicken, and tofu. That's very good. My goodness. So if you're not familiar with Indonesian food, Indonesian eat with rice and with the dish. So the primary is really the rice. So usually we don't eat rice as a side, like a side dishes. So we eat it with the main dishes, with the entree. So just like what I'm doing. So see, I take a piece of my mushroom, some sambal, and the tofu, and the rice, all together in one big bite. Tastes like home, although of course my mom cooks so much better than me. So I'm gonna continue eating and devouring this food. Very delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.